You're sitting in the cafe, guy comes up and says, hey, I bet you can't make it to Millie's Cafe and back before Shake, Rattle, and Roll plays. You flip 10 bucks on the table, and if you're back before that song plays, you pick up your 10 bucks. That's Cafe Bikes, and that's Café Racers.
In the 60s, like the Ace Cafe that you mentioned was one of the places around London where you would race from one cafe to another. The bikes then became Café Racers. It's taking a standard motorcycle kind of out of the factory and customizing it to make it faster, so stripping off as much metal as you can, making it streamlined, maybe adding a bit more power, a bit more control, better suspension.
The frame's sitting higher off the ground, the pipes are higher off the ground so you can lean that sucker over. Solo seat, nice tank that you can lay over, get close to the bars. The grips are usually going to be lower than the tank. You just want that bike to be part of you. That's a cafe bike. You see a winding road come up, the first thing you're going to see everybody do is kind of start dropping forward. And the next thing you know, them bikes are going to be at a 45-degree angle, just cutting canyons.
Just get on the back of my bike and forget your car.
Ton up's a bike that does 100 miles an hour. And if your cafe bike won't do a ton up, you might as well stay home.
See, custom cars and hot rods, and they're cool, but riding a bike, well, if you ride a bike, you know what it is. It's riding a bike. You have to do it to know what it is. It's a thing of beauty.
The feeling of the motorcycle, it is overwhelming at first, but once you settle into it and once you're in motion, there's this calm that comes over you, and it does become this sort of simple, mind-numbing experience.
You cut out everything, all the chaos that's going on in your life. Obviously no cell phones, no televisions, just you and the bike.
I think too many people think about why they're riding rather than just getting into it, and I think if you're thinking too much, you'll end up crashing. It is therapeutic, and there's an old saying that you never see a motorbike out the front of a psychiatrist's office, and the reason is because your therapy is always on a motorbike.
As a teenager, I'd ride from one end of England to the other. We'd go like 500-600 miles just because we could. It's that freedom thing. You get on your bike and you just ride, and you see where you turn up.
In my eyes, a Café Racer is a bike that's got racing performance that you can still ride on the street. You know, where they were all inspired and started from was in England when they were racing around the cafes, and everyone was having a fun time, drinking, taking drugs, all having a party, getting on their motorbikes and trying not to crash them. So what they did is they built a motorbike that could ride as fast as their lives were.
Everybody's bike suits their personality. You know, some stock, some super custom. Bikes tell a lot about people. I love the streamlining of a Café Racer. To me, they're so sporty and so unobstructed, and they're so simple and clean.
I like bikes that have their own personality and class. I actually like them a touch dirty as well. I mean, I love beautiful bikes, I love them vintage, but cafes I think should be just a little touch dirty in recognition of the ton up and the old Ace Cafe style. Chicks dig it.
Everybody in the club usually has a new and an old, and we'll take some of the newer bikes on longer runs. But you know, we get there and we just get off and we're like, God, I wish I had the vintage. You know, it's more exciting. I don't know. It's something old.
I like the vintage because, to me, they have a soul, and there's definitely some sort of bond between rider and bike. These bikes are as old as we are, if not older, and they have a history before us, and that's kind of cool to think about.
It's kind of an appreciation of the old skills that people used to have. So if you look at people like Barris, George Barris and his brother, who did customization in the 40s and 50s, these were guys who worked with their hands and built works of art out of metal. It was a different culture back then, if you like, a different almost attitude towards life.
And we think that the whole culture and civilization is actually trending back to that. I know that's a really big thing to say, but you know, we're going further away from this overproduced, over-complex systems back to more basic things.
Strip it back as much as possible to just the simplest form of the motorcycle.
We want it to get back to the roots of it. It's about a machine we can see actually work and develop and play with, and being absolutely pure in that simplicity.
It's amazing that today, in a complicated world, you can still have simple, good fun on a motorcycle.
She drives me